Hello and welcome back everyone. In this lecture, I will introduce you with multiple Python environment setups. We will start with a traditional setup first by manually downloading Python from its official website and then go through other choices that we have. To start with Python, you can install Python binaries from its official website, that is www.python.org. You can go to the download section and here you can find the latest release of Python for your operating system. If you are using Windows, you can download the exe for Windows. Otherwise, you can download the executable for your operating system. I am using Windows 10, so I will download it for Windows here, and immediately the download will happen. Once the download happens, you can start the setup and follow the necessary commands. It may take a while to do the installation. So now the installation is done. So now we are completed with the Python setup on our PC. If you guys just want to install Python in order to run a Python script or something like that, I would suggest you to install the binaries from its official website the way we just did, and that should be sufficient to run the Python script using the command prompt, which I will show you right now. Okay, so after the installation is completed, you will find an integrated Python development platform called idle, which gets installed on your computer. You can search for idle, and I have installed 3.8 version, so here it is. Let's click this, a GUI interface that we can use to do the programming, or we can use to see some output here. Okay, so let's see how to use it, how to use idle programming interface, which is provided by officially by the Python. Okay, I will start with a very basic function called print function. Okay, so hope you guys are aware of this hello world example, which is very famous example in all the programming languages. So to see this hello world, we can use the print function, and print function is used to display something that is written inside the braces. It takes arguments also that we will discuss later. For now, you can understand print is a function that displays the output which you gives inside it. Okay. Also, you can add variables, you can print variables, you can do manipulations on the variables. Let's try that also. When you compare with other programming languages like Java, C, C++, there you have to give a data type, right? Data type something like int, char, string. Python is smart enough to understand what data type it is based on the R value. So you don't have to actually provide the data type every time. How you can use is just a equals to 5. For example, if you say like this to Python, Python will understand that a is an integer type and a is a variable. So you don't have to explicitly say that int a equals to 5, right? So similar to what we do in other traditional programming languages. Okay, when we say a equal to 5 and press enter, done, we don't see anything in the next line. Why? Because the interpreter understands that a is a variable which is now loaded. It has to load into the memory, and now it has loaded the variable a into the memory with an initial value of 5, and it assigns an address to it. Okay, we know that anything and everything which we provide as an input to the computer, it stores it into the memory. Okay, and memory has an address. It assigns different data types, different variables in different memories, and when we want to see them back, it fetch that memory and show us the value, right? Now for this, I will keep it as simple as possible. I don't want to confuse the beginners. So let us just have a small example of a plus b. So a is equal to 5. The variable a is loaded into the memory. When I say b equal to 7, another hit, b is also loaded into the memory. We are not able to see where it is loaded into the memory, but there is a way to see that also. I will show you. Fine. Now what we want to do is we want to print the value of a plus b. When you are using idle, if you just provide a plus b, it will give you the value back. But when you are running it from file, in the file you have to write something like print a plus b, otherwise it will not understand. Okay, as I said, Python is an integrated development. It comes preloaded with some of the functionalities, so it's just like you just have to see the values how it comes up. So you can just say a plus b is 12, a multiplied by b is 35, a minus b is minus 2, right? So all these manipulations can be directly done here in order to see the results. Okay, fine. Similar to this, I will take you to the command prompt. I will explain you how you can use command prompt, the integrated CMD command prompt by Windows operating system. Okay, so let's exit this shell. We will come back to it later if required. To exit, you can also use exit function. Okay, when I say function, you have to give a bracket like this, and when you press enter, this exit function is a Python function and it exits the Python script. Okay, when you run enter, it will ask you to quit. You say okay and it goes off. Let's go to the second option that we have, that is command prompt. For that, CMD you have to open, and here you can see the command prompt. Click it. So I will give you a small introduction how to use command prompt also, because I am creating this tutorial for the very beginners. So if you know all these, you can skip some part of it. Okay, fine. Let's start with how to use command prompt. In order to see the current directory, you can type cd. Cd is the current directory. It means the output which is given is this, and here you are. Okay, if you want to change the directory, you can also use a cd command, and you have to give a folder name or somewhere some valid path. Okay, for example, I have created a folder on my desktop. I want to switch to this folder, so I will press cd desktop. Okay, we can go to the folder that we have created, parena. Right now my folder is empty. Go inside it, we can see there is an empty folder. To run a Python script or to run a Python program, we can also directly right click here and create a new document. Okay, let's name it as example.py. I am going to right now open it as a notepad. But you can use other editor also as per your preferences, because other editors may give you some more indentation and more collaborative things like syntax highlighting, indentation, file identification, all that. I will show you that there are some other editors also available for writing the programs of Python. As a first example, let me show you using the notepad. So I will just keep a small example here, print hello world. Okay, and let's take you back to that example, the old one which we have given. Let's say a equal to 5 and b equals to 7. One more thing you can note here, you don't have to provide a delimiter at the end of each line. Similar to like C or C++, we provide a semicolon. Also in Java, we don't have to do something like this here, because Python is very smart and it understands that when you press enter, there is a delimiter. You also don't have to open curly braces when you write a function. There is an indentation thing that is introduced in Python. We will come to it in the later tutorials. Fine. So now I want to print a plus b. I can print something like this. Okay, and let's give a message as thank you. Now you see this is a 5-line program, and all the lines will be executed one by one when we run using the Python command, and we are going to run it in the command prompt. Okay, we are not going to run one by one, we are going to run all at once. Okay, so let's save this. I have saved it. Okay, so now we are inside the folder where we created our program example.py. Now in order to run this, we go to the command prompt and run the Python space the file name, that is example.py in our case. When I press enter, it gives me the output. So there are 3 lines printed here: hello world, 1 2 number, and thank you. So we can compare with the program which we had written here. We have it open in the notepad. So the first print, you see the hello world, then we have the second print as number a plus b. The sum of a plus b is 12. Here we see 12, and the third line is thank you. So hope you guys understand how we can run a Python using a command prompt. Let's move on to the next. Now, as I told you, there is a text editor tool. If you don't want to use Notepad, you can use something called Sublime Text. Let's go to the website. It is also available for free download. That is sublimetext.com. You can download it for your operating system. I have downloaded it and installed it for Windows operating system. Okay, there are good UI here. You can see it gets colored up, and you can navigate, and you can do lot many things, which is not very much possible using Notepad. Good thing about Sublime Text is it can be used for multiple programming languages if you have installed their compilers. So let's use this example itself to open with the Sublime Text. Okay, you can directly open here with Sublime Text, and you can see it gets colored, and it looks beautiful, right? If you later I will show you how to use function or the statements, but I'll just show you a small feature how you can use. If let's say you add a if statement, if a equals to 5, for that you have to give a colon here. Okay, once you give colon, it understands that it is a function or a statement. Okay, and it automatically adds an indentation of 4 spaces here, right? You don't have to add it explicitly, or a tab you can see. So these are the benefits that you can use Sublime Text. Otherwise in Notepad you have to do it manually, right? Indentation is very much required when you use Python, because there is no curly braces or something like that. You have to decorate your program. Okay, so these tools are very much helpful. In order to compile this Python using the Sublime Text, you can go to the tools. First you have to select the build system. See, you can write multiple programs in multiple languages, and you can compile them. Since the current file is a Python file, I will select the Python here, and then again go back to the tool, and I'll say build, control B. Okay, and here you can see the output also. Okay, so this is also one way to use the Python if you don't want to use command prompt every time, because it is very much complicated if you write bigger programs. Every time you have to open command prompt and do everything, so it is a little complex. So this is one thing that you can use in order to be more interactive. Okay, so good thing about this is it has a good syntax and highlighting. It has auto indentation, as I showed you. It also has a file identification. If you create a new file and you save it as .cpp, it starts showing the syntax for CPP, okay, or Java or anything. So you can also use it for compiling the program. So this is one thing. Let's close this. Let's move on to the next. Okay. In the next tutorial, I will introduce you to another powerful tool called Jupyter Notebook. So stay tuned. See you in the next lecture.